There are online calculators that are available, like everything else, on Google or other search engines. You can use them if you like, but it's not going to give you a realistic picture of what you're going to be paying or what you will be paid. People come in all the time with ideas of what they're entitled to. Or maybe you just think, hey, I'd really like $10,000 a month. That's not how it works. There are guideline calculations. So we need tax information and we need pay stubs. I prefer pay stubs. It gives you a more accurate picture. We need to know who pays the health insurance, how much it is, how often, who it covers, who pays the mortgage if you're out of the house. Because keep in mind, we can't file for support or custody until you are living in separate residences or you have one in line and you're about to move in. So it should be, okay, here's the mortgage, who's paying it, and that can come into play too, depending on the financial picture. So we take your income and we compare it to the spouse's income. We figure out your tax filing status. Are you filing jointly, separately, head of household? Custody factors in because depending on the percentage of custody that you have, you may be getting more or paying less. Health insurance, like I said, and mortgage payments. So those are the biggies, I would say. Also, childcare costs come into play. So if you do have daycare, extracurriculars, things like that, those factor in. We can either put them into the calculation or it can be set aside as a special term, it's called, where each of you pays a percentage directly to the provider. Once we get all that information, we put it into software and it kicks out a number. And there will be a number for spousal support and a number for child support. But it's based on your income jointly and a percentage of that income, how much of that joint income applies to you. And a number comes out. And usually with W 2 employees, it's pretty standard. The more complicated situations come into play where a spouse owns a business, a spouse is self employed, maybe works under the table, gets tips, hair salons, things like that, or if a spouse isn't employed at all. Because even if you're not employed, you can be assessed an earning capacity. Here in Chester County, the baseline, if you're not employed, is you'll be assessed at earning $30,000 per year, whether you earn it or not. And then if we assess you in earning capacity, we'll also assess childcare costs. So there are a lot of things that come into play that you really can't figure out on your own. You have to know where your support action is taking place, what the rules of that county are. And it's not always just based on what you make or don't make, whether you have a job or you don't have a job, because even if you don't have a job, you can get assessed at an earning capacity. And it could be higher than 30,000 depending on what your work history is, how recent, what you're able to make. It's supposed to be what you would be able to make in the workforce.